Peace and love, y'all. It's your brother A.D.V.I.S. finally back again for another episode of What's the Word Wednesdays. And it's been a long time coming. So, again, as we usually do, come in. Y'all tell me how y'all doing, how y'all feeling, and what's the word. And as we're doing that, I'm going to be posting up today's topics, as well as I'm going to be posting up our logo in the background. But since it's been a minute, y'all, I gotta go back through and figure everything out. But appreciate those coming in. Wolfpack, I see you in here. Much love. Thank you so much. What's the word, my G? As well as shouts out to everyone that will be watching this now, as well as if you're going to watch this later, either on Instagram or YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to your boy at A.D.V.I.S. Speaks. I'm telling you, I've told you a number of times that I'm working and we putting things over there, but please come through, watch, support if you can in your busy schedule. Appreciate you so much. But yes, come subscribe to your boy. With that, let's see what's going on. Retro, the lyrical, good to see you up in here too, brother, man. What's the word? Y'all welcome. What's the word Wednesdays? It's been a minute, but we're back for another episode, so thank y'all for being in here. But as y'all coming in, y'all let me know how y'all doing, how y'all feeling, and what's the word. You can give me a word too, that as well. It said, just been working, nice to see you. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I've literally been on a small break from the lives, because there's a number of things that's been changing in life, and I at least want to come back and finish the rest of this year strong. But I will say there will be another hiatus, or at least break, coming in the near future. But we ain't got to worry about that. We're here now. But good to see y'all, as well as a lot of updates to come. But yeah, say, yo, driving home right now. Drive safely, man. Please do, man. Talk about driving, man. Whole nother different thing. I'll leave it at that. But yes, y'all, we're going to give some people a little bit more time to get up in here. And then after that, or let this track right here finish up. And then we're going to get into our show song. And then we're going to get into today's topics, which are going to be talking about current events going on of what's happening in the news. Then we're going to talk about minimalism, what that means, expand it out more. And then lastly, we're going to speak about when do you know that you have enough? And that's going to be the whole show for tonight. As well as if any of y'all are interested, you're more than welcome. Well, Retro wants you to drive home safe. But for anybody else that comes in, you're more than welcome to join and also be a part of the discussion, because this is a community topic. I come in here and really just want to hear what's the word from y'all. So as much as I love to talk, you're more than welcome to come in. But just know that this does go up on Instagram and it goes up on YouTube. So if you're not comfortable with seeing your face, then you can stay in the comments. That's my, my warning, or just a disclaimer. But that's just letting y'all know. Shouts out to LA Hotbox Studios in the building as well, too. Peace and love. Thank y'all for the spin. Much love. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do this and get the show started. For those who are new up in here, this is What's the Word Wednesdays. I've been doing this for a while. It's been a minute, but we're back. I'm going to do the show song right now. Soon it's coming out, but you never know when. But it goes like this. What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? What's the word? Tell them like, what's the word? What's the word? What you heard? We gotta know, yeah, what's the word? Once again, y'all, it's your brother A.D.V.I.S, and we're here with What's the Word Wednesdays, Season 3, Episode 14. And it's been a minute, but thank y'all for coming up in here. We're literally going to keep this moving as much as we can, but I appreciate the love people have sent, as well as, you know, the wonderings about where everything is. But we're here, and we're going to move forward with what we can. But I will say, please continue supporting, because, again, this does not continue to happen unless y'all are helping and willing to support. So I'm grateful for that. But with that, yo, love the tracks you sent us. I'm grateful. I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying the tracks, man. More to come. More to come. That's some of the updates, but another time. But more to come. So, again, what we got for tonight's show. Shouts out to Brown Girl Interrupting. Thank you so much. Peace and love, fam. Good to see you in here. So, for today's episode, we're going to be getting on 3 different topics. Usually this first segment, if people don't want to stay, you don't have to stay. First segment, I go through and we read some current events. So we go through news reports that we see that's happening live or going on in the news. So I like to just go through a few of them. Then second, we jump into 2 different topics. So the first one we're going to be jumping into after the news is we're going to talk about minimalism and how not accurate, but as well as how relevant is that. Why are we going to speak about that? And again, expand upon further on it through discussion. And then lastly, we're going to talk about when do you know that you have enough? So that's going to be for today's show. Peace out, talk. Peace and love to y'all. I'm not going to say peace out, but just much love to y'all being in here. And shouts out to Alien Space Queen in the building. What's going on, Chris? What's the word? All right. Enough of my rambling. Let's go ahead and let's get into these current events. All right. So, I have 5 articles for y'all tonight, and then I'm going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to do a news scan, and I'm just going to read headlines that is just happening on NPR. And I'm just going to read the news scan of most of the headlines. And that's what we're going to do for current events tonight. But if y'all have any news, whether if it's good news that's happened to you, any news that you have happening around you, please go ahead, share them, throw them in the comments. You are more than welcome to do so. But yes, much love to my man, Mutt. What's good? That's the Mutt 14. Good to see you in here, Mutt, man. Much love, my G. It's been a while, but I'm glad to see you in here. All right. So, first article I got for y'all comes from NPR. And the headline reads, Los Angeles, so folks in Los Angeles, Councilwoman Nuri Martinez resigns following her leaked racist remarks. So, again, from NPR, headline reads, Los Angeles Councilwoman Nuri Martinez resigns following her leaked racist remarks. So, how we usually do it? 3 paragraphs, and then we're done with the article. That's why I reference it in the beginning, so then you can go ahead and read it for yourself at your own time. But again, with that, I'm switching the music back up a little bit. Now, article reads, embattled Los Angeles City Councilwoman Nuri Martinez has resigned days after a recording of her making racist remarks against the city's black and I'm not going to even say, but it starts with an O, and it's the indigenous community that was leaked. It is with a broken heart that I resigned from my seat from the Council District 6, the community I grew up in and my home, she said in a statement. The recorded conversation involved the council members Martinez, Gil Cedillo, and Kevin De Leon captured the now former councilwoman describing the black son of a white council member in crude and racist language. She also described the Akawan, I'm saying the Ixkawan, if I'm saying it correct. I'm butchering names. That's one thing y'all miss me, butchering stuff. Immigrants in Koreatown as short, little, dark people. And I'm going to leave it at that, y'all. This is a really short article, but I'm not going to read too much more of that. But for those who want to read more, if you're in the Los Angeles area and want to know why the councilwoman Nuri Martinez resigned, check out NPR. And the headline reads, Los Angeles Councilwoman Nuri Martinez resigns following her leaked racist remarks. That's the first thing. But shouts out to everybody that came up in here. Luscious, good to see you in here, as well as ATM. Good to see you, my G. You about to be ready for that show? You ready to rock? But yeah, good to see y'all back up in here again. And we gonna keep it moving. So, the next article that we got that's here. This article comes from MSN, and the headline reads, "Yet another good news for Moderna. FDA approves its new Omicron adapted COVID-19 shot." So this is a short article, so I'm going to read through it, but it is a lot of science talk, rhetoric, so it may be a little confusing, but we'll do what we can with some of it because it's the names. But article reads, Moderna has received FDA emergency use authorization. Don't forget, y'all, when you hear emergency use authorization, it hasn't went through the full channel. This is just, again, for emergencies. For its BA.4, BA.5 Omicron targeting bivalent COVID-19 booster vaccine for the mRNA in multiple different numbers. 1273.222. I'm not going to read that again off, but yes. In children and adolescents between the ages 6 to 17. The authorizations are based on a 25 mig amount, I'm saying it wrong, booster dose for children ages 6 to 11 and a 50 booster dose amount for adolescents between 12 and 17, each following a complete primary series of any of the authorized COVID-19 vaccines or previous boosters. So there's more relevant stuff here, but the main thing is that there has been an updated, or FDA has approved this updated Omicron or adapted Omicron COVID shot. So if you want to read more about it, articles at MSN, and the headline reads, "Yet another good news for Moderna. FDA approves its new Omicron adapted COVID-19 shot." Y'all got comments? Throw it down in there. Let me know how you feel about it. And with that, we keep it pushing. So, next news article we got, I found it interesting to myself. Again, a lot of this is very geared towards the U.S. right now. If y'all are out of states or in a different place, please let me know what's going on where you at. Because again, it is just not only where you are, where you from, where you at, but globally we all are connected. So let's all get the news so we know what's going on everywhere. Right. The next article I have for you, this comes from Gizmodo and powered by MSN. The article reads, "New study maps over 50,000 sites in the U.S. that are likely contaminated with forever chemicals." What is forever chemicals? Don't know. But again, 3 paragraphs and we're out. Right. Article reads, "Researchers have determined that the country is dotted with tens of thousands of locations that may be contaminated by PFAS, which are per and polyfluoroalkyl substances." I'm just gonna cut it there. AKA forever chemicals that do not disintegrate over time in nature or in the human body. Now they're mapping those sites to help regulators best direct resources towards cleanup efforts. So now we know what forever chemicals are. They do not disintegrate or break down in the body over time, rather naturally, I should say. Right. A new study published in the Environmental Science and Technology Letters estimates that there are over 50,000 PFAS, those forever chemicals, contaminated sites throughout the United States. The researchers argue that in the absence of testing data, they can presume contamination based on 3 categories of facilities that are very likely to be contaminated with PFAS chemicals. So we'll do the team, and where they looked, and then after that, we'll leave it at that. But the team looked at publicly available data on industrial facilities, locations where firefighting foams have been used, and sites related to PFAS contaminated waste. Shouts out to Shinobi. Good to see you in here. Shinobi 903. What's good, fam? They identified 57,412 sites of presumptive PFAS. Those are the AKA forever chemicals that is hard to disintegrate in nature as well as in the human body throughout the 50 states and the District of Columbia. This includes 4,255 wastewater treatment plants, 3,493 current ones or former military sites, and 49,145 industrial factories, and 509 major airports. So this is where all these PFAS, these forever chemicals, are plaguing the U.S. at least. And these were, again, they called them the perfluoroalkyl substances. I'm saying the name at the end completely wrong, but that's the news there. So if you want to learn more about what these forever chemicals are, check out, again, the article comes from Gizmodo, and the article title is New Study Maps Over 50,000 Sites in the U.S. that are likely contaminated with forever chemicals. Yes. But he said, chillin', bro. Well, good to see you up in here, my G. Much love to you, man. I'm grateful to see that you're still here, my man. And I'm going to keep you updated because, again, you were one of the few that knew about the whole freestyle for 3 hours thing. So anybody who's catching this now, I'm putting that out there. Towards the end of December, I'm going to be doing a live where I'm freestyling for 3 hours. I mean, if you want to join, you can join for sure. If not, it's all good because you're probably tired of seeing me freestyle, but I got to improve some way, somehow. So if you want to see me get better as the hours go by, come with me. Come chill with us. Right. On to the next article. Next one. This one comes from Task and Purpose. Again, this is under MSN. And the article title reads, Army considering height and weight exemptions based on fitness test scores. So, there's been a lot of talk, or even say a lot of talk. I've heard about the different exemptions that be happening in the Army and testing and how things have changed up. So, let's see what else that they're changing up as it goes. Again, 3 paragraphs and we're out. Article reads, the Army is considering allowing soldiers who score a 540, I don't know the numbers, but we're going to find some of them out, or above on their Army combat fitness test to be exempt from height and weight standards, which Sergeant Major of the Army Michael Grinston said Wednesday are not changing. Grinston revealed that the potential change at the annual Association of the U.S. Army Conference in Washington, D.C. For a year now, the Army has been conducting a study of its body composition program to ensure that the weight as well as the height requirements were accurate, and what Grinston said Wednesday that they are. What the study in science has shown is that the height and weight tables are correct, he said. The height and weight tables provide specific weight measurements for soldiers based on their height as well as based on their gender and age. So, of course, if, for example, women who are 5'5" tall and they're within 21 to 27 years old can weigh about 152 pounds, whereas men who are 6 foot and are within the ages of 17 to 20 can only have a maximum weight of 190 pounds. So, yeah. Shout outs to Poet, Con, Raz, Fire. Thank you for coming in here. What's the word? Let me know how you doing, how you feeling. What's the word? He said that physical test has been all over the place. Yes, it definitely has. And my thought behind that, and y'all can share too, is that we have less and less people not only joining the army, but there's less and less people who are healthy. Literally 25% plus of folks in the US are obese. And we're not talking about not even talking about overweight. It's obese. And then we have morbidly obese, and then there's more that's further on the scale. So it's accommodating for the changing not only in what you eat, your diet, but also just the changings and just the time in our century. So yeah, I hear you on that. So if you want to know more about what's going on with the army and it's changing with the weight stuff, comes from MSN under task and purpose, and the headline is Army considering height and weight exemptions based on a fitness test score. So one more article for y'all, and then I'm going to do just a scope of all different titles that's happening in the news, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. So last one I got for y'all, and this is a short glance, so I'm going to do this real quick. For my folks who are still going to college, or y'all thinking of college, or you have kids and you're trying to think about sending them off to college, this article gives you a little insight of what's going on. So this one comes from MSN, but specifically it also comes from The Hill. And the article reads, elite public colleges slash acceptance rates, raising pressure on students. So for y'all folks who's trying to get into them Princetons, the UCLAs, the Harvards, even the Ivy Leagues, or a lot of the UCs, they're slashing acceptances, so it's becoming harder and harder. So let's look at least the story at glance, which there's just give 3 key points, and then we'll be done. And if you want to read more, I'll tell you the article name again. But the story at a glance. First point they say is surging demand has led California flagships, Berkeley and UCLA to admit 9 and 11% of the applicants, respectively. So you literally have a 10% chance to get in. You have to be past that top 10% to even think about being considered in that first part if you're going to UCLA and Berkeley, so these places. Second, universities such as North Carolina and Virginia have reduced their acceptance rates to 17 and 19%. Shouts out to Selfish Hour, aka Camo 20. I'm a trip. I don't even want to say it wrong, but my brother Camo, how you doing, my G? So again, these rates are dropping in all these places, and it's making it more tougher and tougher to get in. And the last one, such Vegas-style odds are still not the norm. Most schools accept 70% of their applicants. So again, if you're trying to get into those high prestigious colleges, whether you're telling that to your kids or to anybody around you trying to go to college, just know that the percentages of acceptances and the rates is definitely going down, so it's more competitive. But that's that. If you want to read more about it, again, comes from MSN, specifically The Hill, and the article reads elite public colleges slash acceptance rates raising pressures on students. Yes. All right. Last thing I got for y'all, and then we're moving to the next topic, is I'm going to do a quick read of some headlines from NPR. If you want to go NPR.com, you can look up news. First thing we got, virtually all PPP loans have been forgiven with limited scrutiny. So if you was on that PPP loan train, there you go. The secret to changing the kids' behavior, according to Parenting Whiz Becky Kennedy. Another one, a blood shortage in UK may cause some surgeries to be delayed. Get some UK stuff going on in here. The ACT, for those who know the ACT back way when you was taking ACT, those scores have dropped to their lowest in 30 years in a pandemic slide due to the pandemic and all that happening. Human cells in a rat's brain could shed light on autism and ADHD. We'll get some more information on that as well too. Let me see what else that comes out of here. Gloom oozes from energy forecast that shows oil demand dropping, heating bills rising. I notice again, y'all see how the gas prices have been fluctuating back and forth. It's still ridiculously high, but you see why. Egypt calls for the return of the Rosetta Stone and other ancient artifacts. So all these artifacts that were taken and stolen, they're asking for a recall. Another thing, and then we'll stop it there. The Omicron boosters I talked about. Another thing, millions of Americans are losing access to maternal care. Here's what can be done. As well as Russia arrests 8 people for blast on the Crimea, whichever, bridge as Ukraine denies involvement. So yeah, there's so much. I can keep reading down all these headlines, but if you want to check out and know what's going on, please make sure you go do your due diligence, look up some news. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say that I haven't always been looking into news every single day, but at least try once a week to at least know what is in the know, because if not, you will be out of the know. You won't know what the word is. You miss out on the key words. But yeah, other than that, y'all, that has been the current events and news portion. If y'all had any news or anything, again, good news that you want to share that's happened to you, whether you got promotion or you've put out a music or literally you just had a great day, you can throw it down in the comments, man. This is all this about, sharing. But yeah, she said we've been warning about the gas prices for a while. It's just ridiculous. It is. It definitely is. It makes it harder for those already trying to budget around living at home, paying for bills, paying for food, transportation, entertainment, kids' education, or just literally every fabric of this life you have to pay for something in some way, shape, or form. Like it's unfortunate. I mean, I seen a few different things, but yeah, we're the only species on this planet that pays to live on this planet. So yeah, think about that. Right, y'all. Now we're gonna be moving to the next topic. The next topic that we're gonna be talking about is minimalism, and specifically about minimalism is all up to us. We're gonna talk about it together, and this is a portion again. If you want to come on and join me, and we have a talk about minimalism and just shoot it and just speak about it, please do. Just know that, again, this will be put on Instagram and YouTube. If you're not comfortable with that, then you can stay in the comments. If not, just know that you've waived your rights and you're here and it will be posted. So just have to put that out there. But again, shouts out to all y'all that's in here. Much love and thank y'all. So now with minimalism, I always like starting off with definitions. So I'm going to give you 2 different definitions from 2 different places, or multiple different definitions to say from 2 places. And we're going to start off with Webster's. Shouts out to Chris, who does this. And shouts out to the brother Adam. Good to see you in here. Thank you, man. Good to see you, my G. Hope all is well with you, bro. What's the word? Welcome to What's the Word Wednesdays, my man. All right. First one I'm going to give y'all for minimalism definition comes from the Webster's Dictionary. Just because Webster's have different definitions. So the first one for minimalism, the definition is a style or technique, as in music, literature, or design, that is characterized by extreme spareness and simplicity. That is minimalism in that definition. Now this one comes from the Free Dictionary, and it has a few more definitions, and we'll add it in there. All of this is a noun. So minimalism is a noun. It's a thing. So first one says, a school of abstract painting and sculpture that emphasize extreme simplification of form, as by the use of basic shapes and monochromatic palettes of primary colors, objectivity, and anonymity. That word, anonymity of style. The second one, the use of fewest and barest essentials or elements, as in art, literature, or design. I'll also say life. And the other one, it says a music style, like we were speaking about earlier. So now, where do we want to go with talking about minimalism? Why is this even a topic? Why does this need to be spoken on? So for me, minimalism it's been a word that's been floating around for a while for myself, and I've been interested to really look into it a bit more, because of the fact that there's a lot of stuff that I honestly can get away with just having the bare essentials and not needing to crave and have the latest of new technology or the latest of new clothes and things of all of that sort. Which I'm not as vain as, I'm not gonna compare, but I'm not gonna say I'm not as vain, but still finding ways to be a lot more frugal and a lot more, sparse in what I use, because I can have like 4, 5, 6, 7 different mics and I only use 2. Or even on a really good month, I'm only using 1. So what is the reason for me having all those multiple mics? Like, I can give those away and like share those with other folks. But getting back to it, why I want to speak about minimalism? Just the idea and the concept of being able to just use the bare necessities, being able to get back to using what's really needed versus what you really want, and the whole idea of wants and needs. But in the sense of minimalism in the concept of not only, again, I'm talking about a lot in living, but also talking about in just like your art and the work that you do. So back to me talking about in living aspects and where you are, how I see minimalism really helping, it really goes to show you not only discipline, but it also goes to show you how literally easy life can be made and how little you really need to survive. But we've brought in to not only a society, but a system and a function that we need to always crave more. And part of that is because of our growing evolution in this life, but also when it comes to when you grow in different areas of stuff, there's also growing desires. You have your growing ego, like a lot of different things, like all of those human nature aspects of us also grow and change over time with the changing of society, so you can keep up. You continue to update yourself as society continues to update itself. But we do have examples of folks who do live very minimal lives or minimalist lives, and they have cultures and literally communities around that type of living. And it can be as simple as you just need a bed, you need a place to sleep. It can be very small, enough to accommodate you, a couch, place to use it, and then kitchen. Everything else that's added there is, again, it's extras. It's, supplemented on top of what you got. But that also in my head, because I like to just go off of my own prior knowledge versus going ahead and doing all this research and trying to throw y'all with numbers and everything else, because this is more so of a building. So y'all build with me. I think of how with minimalism and having all of those small things too, it gets you to be able to break yourself out of that mindset of literally wanting to crave everything, keeping up with the Joneses, being able to end up comparing yourself to the next person who's a millionaire or a billionaire, trillionaire. They got 15 cars, a big house, and that's what you want, as well as the old idea and concept of the American dream, at least for a lot of us. Talking about wife and kids, a dog, a picket fence, and a really big house and front yard. Like this idea that's been pushed into our heads that for some of us, realistically, we don't need all of that. But we're said that we need all of this because of the fact that it's being always fed to us, whether we watch different ads, different programs, news, all the marketing things, where it's better to have more, and if you have less, then you're poor. Oh, bar! I was playing. There ain't no bars, but I just randomly was rhyming. But yeah, it says simplicity with a little extra. Give give me a little bit more context around that. But I mean, that's basically what minimalism is simplicity at its finest. And now going away from how you're living when it comes to your lifestyle, when it comes to minimalism, when it comes to art, we're just going to talk about painting for right now. Then we'll get into musical art and other different things. But even in art, painting, there's folks who have a very minimalist style because of the fact that art is defineless, in a sense of you can put out that piece and it can actually have a myriad of meanings just based off of, I just, like, some people's like, I just threw some paint on the canvas, I just threw a triangle, and it felt like I could just put all these very simplistic shapes, but together it creates this art piece that to you look like it's just some jumbled up mess that looks like they just threw things in there. But each one is very specific, and it all plays some particular part and role of the whole picture. And you can look deeper into it and be like, oh man, this is a concept of life, or this is, and yeah, sometimes you'll be like, okay, why are you trying to make something that's extremely grand out of, there's not much to really go off of. But literally, simplicity in art and minimalism gets you back to understanding how we overcomplicate things, and how we like to overcomplicate things that we do because of the fact that we think that if we have more is better. When sometimes having very bare, basic elements and doing that consistently and very clearly and clean, it comes out so well. So a simple art piece can sell for so much because of the fact that it does the bare essentials and does the simple factors very well, to a point that it is a masterpiece. Off the top of my head, I can't think of so many other people who are minimalist in their art where it's very simple. I want to say Basquiat, but I can be wrong, because there's a lot of stuff that's very abstract. Even with the abstract art, there's some elements of minimalism because of the fact that it's so abstract. You're not too sure where it can go, but you can make very small inklings of what it can be based off of putting just simple movements, simple shapes, and put it in all together. But again, it goes back to, and yes, I like to use objects and just talk with my hands, so walk with me. It goes back to being able to slow you down and show you that you don't always need the best of the best equipment, and that literally not only having the skill and talent, but taking the time and the effort and using what you have can do more than just enough. That can actually be exactly what you need. So in art, that's the way that they do that. Now, when we come to art and music, that particular art, some of my favorite songs do some of the most simplest things, whether even if it's the simplest of bars. Like, songwriting in itself doesn't have to be this extensive play-by-play of I'm going over the top of your head with lyrics. Even though I love lyrics, I'm a lyricist, or I'm on my way to being a better lyricist, and I love just piecing words and patterns together, making so many intricacies in what I say. But sometimes the most simplest bars that you say can be the most powerful. And the reason being is that it can be felt, as well as there's not a lot of fluff and fancy and salt-based sprinkles on the words. It's literally right to the punch, right at home. And shouts out to Chairman Dallas, as well as shouts out to Kimberly. Good to see you in here, family. What's the word? Good to see you. So even in writing music and composing songs, having just the right enough pieces can make a whole difference. As well as if you are a producer or you're a beat maker, and you go into that stage of looking at all of your stems and looking at all the sounds that you add on top of each other, literally, the less sounds that you use, sometimes it's the better. It creates a lot more space for all those elements to coexist, rather than trying to have 18 to 20 different instruments and you got to figure out how you're going to be able to put one on this side and put another one on this side. Then there's one that sits in the middle. It starts to create a lot of chaos. And shouts out to Curtis King. Much love to the brother Curtis King. I'm able to be a part of one of his groups, is the DIYers, and we had a challenge actually where we did a beatbox. And from that beatbox, you would create your track or your beat based off of that beatbox. And a really good point that he made, that it really speaks to the minimalism idea as well as the minimalist idea, is that in a beatbox, you're not going to be able to put all the different sounds and elements that you can put on a beat from a beatbox. So as you're doing that, you're interpreting what that beatbox is, and you're using core elements. So it's always about, I should say always about, the key thing with minimalism is the core. So getting back to really those bare necessities and those core elements and ideas that you need can actually be that anchor, that foundation. So having that foundation sometimes is all that you need. You don't necessarily need all the extra fluff, all the extra spice. You don't need to go and get all the special cacaos and all the special cayenne peppers and all these different spices to make something taste good. Now I'm going to food, so I'm not trying to make y'all hungry, but literally it just goes to show that you don't need so much things, a lot of expensive equipment and things of that sort, just to have something sound nice and good quality. Having the skill and having those basics down really do you great justice if you use it properly. And shouts out to Big Flood in the building, man. Much love to you, fam. Good to see you up in here, man. I gotta get used to being back alive again and doing these shows again. So appreciate y'all.
Oh, wow.
Yo.
Hey. What's the word?
What's going on, Chris? What's the word?
Do I sound bad? I'm sorry.
There's no Bonnie gang.
I whip my hair back and forth. I'm good.
But how you doing?
Yeah.
So you're like, what did I miss?
Yeah.
So I'm on the topic now of minimalism. I went and, always shouts out to you. So I went and I did our Webster's definition. And then after that, I did the free dictionary. And where I've been going on is I've been talking about the few definitions in minimalism. The examples being whether I've used, of course, things that I've done in my life that, I can see how minimalism has a great impact on, and why you can look at using minimalism in that case. Because sometimes why we do it is because of, this is what I was saying earlier, is because of what we're also shown so much, not only in society, but on TV, that we have to keep up with the Joneses, keep up with the Kardashians, all these other folks that's in that sphere, to show that if you want to be rich and wealthy and really have a good life, you got to have all these things. When sometimes, less is more. That's tech. That is a thing. It's called saying less is more. It's a saying, and the reason why, because I'm gonna keep saying this. So shouts out to Biggie, and even before Biggie, whoever said this quote that more money, more problems. It can go with more. The more things that you have, the more possessions that you have, the more problems that you're going to concur. You're not concur, but you're going to have. Yes, because great example. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because with minimalism, I'm thinking, and compared to having so much, materialism, is that people use that again as an escape to hide multiple different things that they're not ready to face. And it's almost, I'm thinking of it as in a balancing act. So if you have so much material and there's so much things that you are trying to have and hold, and you're like, I gotta get this and get that and get that, and you're trying to balance from here to there and there and there, you're feeling extremely stretched. But when it comes to having a minimalist life, or at least thinking of minimalism, I'm not saying, okay, yeah, you gotta only have one bottle of water, one pair of clothes, not in the extreme sense, but in, again, a frugal and a realistic sense. But if you have things in a small amount, that's less things for you to deal with. So it
Gotcha.
makes it a lot more manageable. That's what I'm going off of what you just said. So honestly, I just been talking about it. Again, I'm not gonna say ad nauseum, but I've been talking about it in different realms. And what I was just talking about was music. So we got folks in here already making some comments on the music
Oh, I
aspect, but
came in
yeah,
on the
got the
food.
foundation. So,
You said food. I was like, what is he talking about?
that's correct. I did. I was. But let's see. So Nobi said, music wise, especially today's music on the radio, the hooks and beats, not necessarily the verses itself is enough for me. Yeah. Older music like the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, I like. Wow, that bar is something else. Yeah. Like on the real, it's the evolution of things, as I was talking about earlier. Like as we continue to evolve as a species and as a world, like you already see technology. Literally every freaking like second at this point, like there's an iPhone. Like this is an iPhone 8 Plus. I still have this part here. And what iPhone are we
I
on
have
right
the
now? We're on
13
the 14.
Pro Max.
So this is is right now will be extremely outdated to have this phone and walking around with it. It'd be something is wrong with you. And if you like some of the OGs that I know
The
right
flip.
now, some of them still
Oh,
got
I
the
had the
5
6
and the
and I
6.
traded it in and I got mine. And the flip phone.
And the flip phone. But again,
This is my mic.
that idea too of phone was only meant back then for just calling and texting. And then you started to add on, you can have your extra ringtones, you can in some small little
The
games,
snake.
solitaire,
Don't
or
sleep
just
on
other
snake.
little. Yes, snake. Yes, we're
It
saying
don't
our
matter. I'll
age.
be
It
30 in
don't
2
matter.
months. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
So and how it's transformed to basically be a smart computer in our pocket now. It does just about everything. It literally does. Like it's to a point why we keep it so close in hand and by our side because of the fact that it does so much for us now. And that's again, as a double-edged sword. Now, when I'm speaking about it in a minimal sense, it's also thinking about how you can still be able to do on your own before you start to put it off on other tools.
Right.
What I mean by that, again, if you're trying to remember somebody's phone number back
Everybody's
then, I
number.
remember at least like 8 or 9. It was mad easy. Like I'm gonna throw up for me musically. I remember my grandmother's phone number like that, and anytime that my mom used the house phone, again, this is a landline, and click on the numbers and I heard the specific sounds of the digits, I literally I knew based off of that. And it made it to me. It made it seem it was like it was a game. It was so fun, like remembering stuff of that nature, and you know, like yo, I have a lot of this, information and small things that I can have in my brain, and again, it's useful. Not a lot of again, I'll say shouts out to some things on social media, but there are other things on social media that is not needed. Some like life hacks that are supposed to be life hacks, but really in a sense they're not. It's just there to just give you
Right.
extra useless information. Some of it again uses up processes mind and your own skills to be able to do other different things. Shouts out to
Whoop, whoop.
WRCJ96. Good to hear.
WR. What is it? I was trying to give you a shout out. WRCJ96.
Got it. You got it. But yeah, let's if you are in with nobody. We get too distracted with what everyone else has. My goal is to live a life totally off grid on a farm somewhere that no one knows. Okay, I'm with
I
that.
just
I'm
bought a
literally,
book on that. It's called
I
How to
literally,
Survive Off Grid. Yeah, I found it at a thrift store.
really?
I thought my earpods would help. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, because I hear
Yes,
feedback.
you're fine. I'm not even my ear, I'm not even using my wires for today because technically I was almost again, y'all. I was almost about to cancel this live because I have this thing here. We talking about minimalist stuff, but I have this thing here, and I was using it last time. I remember when we talked, and I to go live, but for some reason, Instagram at first wasn't allowing me to try to go live on both my phone and the tablet. So I was having some issues, and for me, I don't always like to be extremely late. So I was about to be like, all right, I'm gonna cancel. But I'm like, bro, it's been about almost like a month and a half, like we haven't done this. So I gotta find some way somehow,
That's
and we
dope.
here. We here. But you gotta keep pushing through. When one way doesn't work, you try other different things. But to come back to minimalism, I'm not saying it is the correct way to be living. It is one of the many other ways that you can. Because shouts out to you, Kimberly, because I really have contemplated many times of really not only the necessities that I really need, but there was points in time, like I'll be truthful with y'all, where I was really struggling financially. And the things that really helped me get by, barely seeing like two-digit amount in my account and having this whole big debt, was literally reminding myself, do I have food? Do I have water? Do I have clothes? And do I have shelter? If I do, then that means I'm living the fight the next day and continuing to fight. And that means
Wait,
I'm above
it's
ground.
only up from
So
there.
in a,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And for me it just continued to give me a sense of renewal and assurance that literally all of the extras, all this stuff that we have right now, what I'm being able to do, and all of us are able to do, is it's a privilege. It's not really a necessity, personally, unless again it's tied to your job or whatever else you do. But ultimately, we just breathing, eating, living. We don't necessarily need to be doing any of this stuff, but we're doing it because of the fact that we're here connecting, as well as this is the evolution of the human species and the place that we live right now.
I feel it. Why are all your topics always like you're like tied to my frequency every time? So like I told you I was moving.
So,
I am now
yes.
there. So hello from the East Coast. It's 11 p.m. here. I saw you were live and I was like, I'm gonna stay up.
I appreciate it. Sleep is important. It is important, but I appreciate you
I
staying up.
just had to like leave Vegas and throw away
Yeah.
80% of my worldly possessions because I could only take what could fit in my sedan to get out here. So talk about the process of reverting back after a while of gaining and gaining and expanding and consuming and then having to at a drop of a hat shed all of that off down to the essentials.
Mm.
You're always on time with these discussions. I'm like, oh my god, Calvin, stop looking at my life. Stop it.
Man, all of this has been pre-planned before,
Mm-hmm.
already written down, into my notes or into the cosmos, and when I'm ready and real and willing to do so, it comes out. And I will say this: there's always timely messages that come to me, and I guess the timeliness of my messages comes to other folks. So
It's just
I'm glad to be
everything is like
there.
just
And
cosmically linked every time, every discussion. So I'll tell you a little bit of my gratitude
yes,
for being able to have only what I need. It's easier to move
yes.
around, it's easier to navigate, and
Yes.
it really just helps you appreciate. Like, I don't know if you watched like the
Mm,
Marie Kondo uh her series on Netflix where she goes to people's houses where they like hoard and stuff, and then she like prays at the house, and then she has like a 5-step cleansing program, and it starts with like the closet and the clothes, and then it goes all the way down to like paperwork. It's like a whole 5-step program of like how to like discard and organize your life, because like a clean house, clean mind, those kind of like philosophies. So she'll be like, does it give you joy? Does this item give you joy? If it gives you
yeah.
joy, keep that item. If it no longer gives you joy and it doesn't have a purpose to serve, you thank that item. You thank it for its time, you thank it for what it's giving you, and then you release it. And I think that's a healthy approach to the balance of like consuming, but then also intentionally um intentionally living, I guess. Like, okay, I want things, and things don't last forever. You're not supposed to have some things
Yeah.
forever. You know what I mean? Some things truly do just serve a purpose, and then you just release it. I like her approach. You thank that item, you thank that inanimate object, and then you release it back.
Which technically that object has energy
Mhm.
because it's been created and it does function. Especially if
Mhm.
it's electronics, y'all. It has energy, has a current, has all of that. But any way to put it in the perspective of everything is everything,
Mhm.
because technically it is, and it's all truly connected. It helps with, to me, that almost sounds like it is not, I'm gonna say it's a piece of, but it's something very
Mhm.
similar to Buddhism in the way that that's practiced. Because the main thing with Buddhism is that everything and within the world that like we suffer from is from attachments, and the way of being able to let go is a practice and thing that's seen within Buddhism. So as well as being able to let go of the things and the items and the worldly possessions you have is helping you to, like, shed not only not that weight, but also, like you said, they're practicing that gratitude for what it has brought in that moment, in those moments within time in your experience, and just letting it be.
Yeah.
Which, again, Kimberly said, it is the most peaceful way of living, to be honest. I never want to leave this earth without living off the land and having all I need.
I feel that, Kimberly. I'm into like that RV like living. Like, I watch a lot of videos on that, how they deck those RVs or the vans out. I'm kind of down for that. I really am.
There's, I will say this. When I was working in the warehouse, I had a coworker telling me about his move into a RV that he got for a really good price, and how much it was for upkeep a month. And I was like, really? And he's just like, yeah. Technically, this man paid for a permit, which was about maybe 50, 60 bucks. And then for like the flushing of like the fluids and the generator and the power and stuff, it ran him close to about maybe 180. So roughly around $300 a month. And especially if you're not moving it around and needing a whole thing
Right.
of gas guzzling, which I mean you're using power. $300 a month, and if you're working a job where literally you're getting maybe 2,000, 3,000
Mm.
a month, and most of the necessities, at least for shelter, is around just $300, and say we put on top of that, the food and other things of that sort. If you can live below your means and have all of that and stack up and be able to save, why not? And you still, in a way, are living comfortably, but being able to practice not needing so much. Like I'm not. Again, that's why we don't necessarily within nature. Like you're not going to see freaking buildings like this. Nature doesn't involve man-made things of this sort. Like that's why it's man-made. So space in particular, if you outside, in our eyes, space is infinite. There's physical borders and things of this sort, but literally the space is infinite outside. So when we create stuff like this, we're confining ourselves within a finite space. Which now I'm about to go. We make me go off all other different places, but it also makes me think about how if we're confined. I mean, like man, that's why. Now look at watch this. Now it just popped into my head and it makes so much sense now. That's why the concept and the saying of think outside the box is a thing. Because we're confined in such a finite space, what you use for that space to either think creatively, fill it with ideas and thoughts, as well as fill it with things that are inside your realm, no more room left to grow or add to it. So if we're doing that in our houses and we're talking about, man, we got to expand, and then you're either just building up, down, or wherever it is, there's always still going to be a finite amount of space because of the fact that you're boxing yourself in. So when you think outside of the box, you get outside and you see that there is an unlimited amount of space.
Yeah. There is. No,
just off on a random tangent, y'all. It just clicked.
It resonates. So why do you think I'm all the way over here on the east side? I needed space. No, like seriously, I'm being serious. I know I know a lot. But no, like seriously, there was no room for expansion in Cali anymore. I felt confined. I was in that box. Think outside, and I came out here, and I didn't even get to share with you. I got a job offer as I was passing through Kansas. So they called me to come in for an interview, and I just mentioned I was actually looking for a management position. So by the time I actually made it to this state, I already had an interview for a management position. I got that job, Calvin. I've been working as a manager for the past 3 weeks. Expansion. Sometimes it's location, location, location. If you feel like you're in that, let's use your analogy, box, yes, go outside that box. Go explore, go find, do what you gotta do. I'm all for it.
Because look, that's a reason why it's very important at a young age is to travel and explore and have a sense of safety and comfortability for moving around. Because the more that you explore and the more that you allow yourself to get to see your surroundings and more that is there, the more that you come to find that you're not just this place, you're not just this block. That literally you can be anywhere and everywhere all at the same time because your house is just not there on that block. Everywhere you go, you make it your home because of the fact that you're comfortable in that particular space. That's why it is
Infinite
infinite
space.
space. In this particular case,
And then
look at that
I'm gonna
bars of
circle
flavor
it back
again.
to minimalism. If you clutter your space, you have less space. If you keep filling it up with other things, you're crowding
Mhm.
yourself. That's why they say like a
Yeah.
clear house, clear mind, things like that. Because I've noticed with myself, I am affected by my physical space as well. Like, I'm not the most cleanliest person. I have messy piles, and thanks to TikTok, I think I'm neurodivergent or whatever. But like, I have intentional piles. So like, of course, it looks a little like disheveled. But when it gets overwhelming with these piles, I literally cannot function. I literally then have to take my attention and organize everything or reorganize or consolidate because it's usually paperwork. Consolidate my piles, and there has to be a certain amount of physical space available in said room. Yeah.
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 And again, that it makes a lot sense to you as a person, and we're just speaking it again in terms of how it does. It creates up a lot of free space. I mean, I got two. One is a shout out. The other one is a furthermore analogy. So the first one, this is again, shouts out to if some people find him controversial, whatever it is. He has some knowledge. I appreciate a lot of his knowledge. Shouts out to Jordan Peterson. He literally he had a talk, or you can say a lecture, where he simply said to a lot of young men that were in that lecture is
Mhm.
clean
Mhm.
your room. Literally, if you want to start up being able to help the community at whole, we say it so much. You got to be able to help yourself. And guess what? Where does that work start? It starts at home. Is your room clean? If it's not, clean your room. Simple as that. Again, it's a simple concept, but it can be very powerful because of the fact of how relevant it is, as well as, again, it makes logical sense that sometimes, some of us do forget that, yo, if I got so much stuff in my room that's so messy, I can't even get to
Mhm.
certain places in my room, clean my room. So now, next time, I won't get frustrated because I'm about to fall over on my bed onto the floor because of the fact that I slipped over these piles of the clothes or these
Mhm.
backpacks and things that I have. We forget how
Mhm.
incremental things can add up. That's why you penny pinch, and when you're talking about saving and having money like
Mhm.
that, that stuff adds up. So just imagine you putting so much stuff in your room that
It
adds up.
does.
Now, going back to the second in this analogy, think of it again as storage on your iPhone or on any type of technology.
I feel called out. I said I feel called out.
Huh?
My storage is full. It stays full.
I'm looking.
Yeah, no,
I'm just going off.
no,
I'm
I get
going off
it.
of what and but it just goes to show you too. You're going around, you're exploring all these different things, and you want to stop and take a picture, or you want to create and keep a moment. But because of the fact that you have so much, you know, stuff on your phone that you have no space left, that it leaves no more room for other things to thrive there. And again, it, literally, I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, delete that whole photo album that you had from like
Mhm.
10 to like 7 years ago. That if you did over from your cloud or wherever it is. But there's places and there's ways to again save that onto hard drives and other stuff of that nature. That's why it's a such thing as that space. But see, if you confine it to this and you don't add it to anywhere else like this, then you don't be able to multiply and use
Mhm.
that space effectively. Yeah, Tom from my space. This is my
Tom
space.
on my
That's your
face.
space. That's fine. But basically, it is the more you free up that space on there, the more that you can put and add more things there. So if I want to be able to do more of these shows, but I'm saving it all on my phone and stuff at times, and I can't get out the next new show because I have no more space left, I have to let some things go. And you like it, and you will find joy from again being able to be like, yo, that was a great moment. Now I don't need 18 of the same type of picture shot in that one moment. I can literally just cap one and capture it. And make
Before
sure
it's
you do capture it
gone.
all. Shameless plug,
Gone.
but
The aliens
just
approve.
random. Um, very funny. Let's see. So Shinobi said, my time in the military, a drill sergeant told me, making your bed gives you a sense of accomplishment without you thinking about it. Yes, it does, as well as literally, I would say this, shots out, but I read a book a while back is by a sergeant, I'm not going to say in the army, but he has a lot, he's an admiral. There we go. It was William, what's it called? It's in my head. It is in my head. It is right there. Oh, so William is either H or G McRaven. And literally the book was called Make Your Bed. And literally he goes through the whole book talking about then 10 different concepts through that making your bed, but they were all experiences about literally his time in the army, things of that sort, where these concepts were there. And that was one of the examples of making your bed, and how getting up early and doing that already sets you apart from everyone else in the day, that you've already accomplished something. You got up out of the bed and you were able to make your bed, so you already have something under your belt. So then the rest of the other tasks and duties that you got for the rest of the day, it it already starts that forward push to you getting it done. And for me, I also use it as a way to motivate the students that I work with by literally tell them, even though they may feel like they're sleepy, they're tired, they feel like they want to go home, there's nothing else that they can learn in this class, I always remind them that honestly, you made it through the hardest part of the day. And they'd be like, what do you mean? You're like, the hardest part of the day is just waking up and getting out of bed, and you made it here. And even though it can sound goofy, it can sound like,
It's
man,
not.
that's easy. Again, for some, that's really hard for them to get up and be able to do that. So not only is not
Mhm.
saying that it's a privilege to be able to do that, but it's always just reminding you that literally that getting up and moving and being able to keep pushing is such a challenge. And when you accomplish that challenge, don't lessen it. Like really use that.
Mhm.
That's the motivator there. Yeah, and if you do it more consistently, yeah, if you want to keep building and being a better version of yourself, yes, you challenge yourself. But at the end of the day, make your bed, make your room, clean up your room. All these simple acts and things of that sort
Dallas!
actually build upon them. Are you sure you think that's Dallas? Are you sure? Are you sure that's Dallas?
You had me like
What's
close my eyes. I was like, is it?
playing with you? But peace and love, brother. Good to see you up in here, man. What's the word? Yo, so
To the topic.
back to this idea of yes, to the topic at hand. And then if you have anything else, Chris, then if not, we'll move on to the next thing. But minimalism, also, of course, we talk about a lot of the pros. Yes, I'm gonna talk about some of the cons. I got to. Yes, because everything in this life is not literally
Right.
free of how we want to put it. There's always going to be some type of consequence, some type of risk, or just some type of quote unquote, lack of better words,
Never
suffering
eat the
attached
pizza.
along with it. So
If they offer you
never.
pizza or a pizza party in your employment, never take the pizza. Be the one who does not eat the pizza.
Oh my goodness. The reason why I'm shaking my head right now, y'all, is I'm gonna tell y'all this story and y'all are going to laugh, but it made me laugh and just made that what you just said is something I would tell the student in this moment. So basically I had a situation, well, all of us at the school had a situation where a student decided to bring 2 to 3 of the Pocky hot chips, the
Oh
one chip
no.
challenge to school. Yeah. So we had a number of students that was in the office having a very rough
Oh
time with their
no.
digestive systems and things. And they were literally physically showing those failures. But there is one student in particular that ended up in my office somehow that they literally their logic behind why it happened was because somebody passed me the chip. I didn't know what it was, so I ate it. And he ended up being the student that one we had to end up calling
Oh
an ambulance
no.
for. Not that bad. I literally had to talk with the front office personnel. We were both talking, and I'm still keeping an eye on them in my office, which he just went straight to my office. And she was looking at me and she said, "Do you think we need to call?" And I'm like, "I'm unsure," because he's moving around like that. 3 seconds later, we
No.
hear a thud on the floor and roll. And I'm like, "Yes, we have to make the call." But goes to show you, just from what you said in that example, please do not just eat what's given to you without questioning what is given to you. Off of that side note, um,
There he is. There he is. Dallas.
That's not me. That's not me.
who is this?
That's her.
What is she doing? All right, all right, man. How you doing, brother, man? What's the word?
I don't tell me. Mhm. Somebody think. Oh, okay. Can you? I think it's on your thing. Say that again.
Yeah, yeah. Once you turn it off, we're good. So jump back in and then try it. So Chris, try one more time. Y'all jump back in. He said, "Lord, yes, Lord, with all the noise and stuff in there, yes." But to round out minimalism, I will just say this: the cons with having that type of approach, you also cut yourself off from growth at the same time.
No,
We're
I was
good.
on
It was on his side.
as well. I still kind of am. That's why I was
Interesting.
asking earlier if you could hear me, because it's very choppy.
Yeah. Oh, you know, you were good. What was going on was once he joined. Shouts out A Square Scholar. What's going on, A
What I'm
Square?
saying
Good to
is,
see you in here.
I still hear it. It's choppy. It sounds like bad. Like the feedback is like really bad on this end. But I was just like rolling with it because you said you could hear me. But yeah, like I hear myself like echoing and this
Now
whole
you
time
still do?
I've just been going with it.
Oh man, can y'all hear? Is there been an echo on the side, y'all? Everybody, please do a quick sound check. Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear Chris clearly? Is there any feedback or anything?
Don't
Please let us
bring it
know.
up.
Besides in Chris's head. But yeah, I'm gonna let you know what's the bridge, bro. But good to see you in here. We're in here for What's the Word Wednesdays. I would do these on Wednesdays. It's been a minute. I took a break, but we gonna come back at it. He said, "Don't be blaming me.
Come
Add
on,
me, CJ.
CJ.
Really? Join back in. I'm gonna say this. If you join back in, and then the sound does, you said heard not so much. Speak again.
Yeah. So he's
This is our
responding to what you
technical
said.
difficulties.
He
Can
can hear you, but he can't hear me. There's like a feedback because I hear it in my ear.
it won't let me press it. See, and I'll probably end up saying this because there's been issues with Instagram. So for y'all came in later too, I was having issues being able to go live. So Instagram continues to be updating stuff. So I'm honestly not surprised that there's some of these issues happening. I'm trying right now, Dallas, actually to try to find you and add you, and I'm
We
having
gotta take
difficulties
this to
doing so.
Patreon and Twitch. That's what the move is. Yeah,
That's the next move. We'll
Instagram is
see. We'll see.
for ads now. This is all advertisement.
That
Hmm.
may have to be the point. That may have to be the move. But again, this is right now. This is
Yeah,
very convenient for folks to jump on real quick here. So, in a sense, I want to be able to still use this to be able
get
to
your
reach out and
coin.
talk with
Do
folks. So,
the
yeah,
either Twitch or Patreon.
that is more labor on the other end, but I will. We're working it.
I
We're
believe
working
in
it out.
you.
I'm doing one step at a time. I gotta get this music.
Hmm.
I gotta get this music right. Also get all the funding, all this other different stuff. All right. So we'll see. We'll see. This is our intermission, y'all. So enjoy the. I can hear you from my side. Yeah, now it's good. Try it again. Intermission, y'all. Figuring this stuff out. Yeah, it's definitely the feedback. Okay.
Is it good?
I
Is
can
it good?
I can hear your background just a bit, but I can hear you a lot more clear.
You can hear my background, or is it bad?
I can hear like you have a fan.
I got a fan on.
Do you have
Say it again.
it better? So do you have a fan on? Like it sounds better. I can finally hear you now, and it's not a lot of.
Okay. Nah, I don't got no fan on. I'm just chilling right now.
Okay. Well, we gonna work with it right now, y'all. But
Hey, you already know, man. I'm in the building.
can you barely hear me, Chris? Chris, unmute yourself.
I don't want to
Unmute
add to the
yourself.
chaos. I can barely hear you,
What you
Thomas. You're
say?
like very lower.
I swear, look, watch. gonna do this real quick. Look, all right, watch this. If I do this, again, I'm gonna push you out real quick again. I don't know why it's happening on your phone. Yeah, and see if it does it again. If it doesn't, then we're good. If it does, we have an issue.
Put yourself on mute.
No, but I get what you're saying. Mute yourself. Just real quick. Can you hear me, Dallas? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear
Sounded
you.
like it's not feedbacky.
It's
Yeah.
good now.
So it's, yeah, it's way
It ain't
clearer
no
now.
feedback.
Yeah.
See, we good
We're
now.
taking
You
over
feel
your
me?
show.
Like,
Now
you
we're
don't
gonna
talking
talk
about
about
pushing me
minimalism.
out. Woo! Oh, they done put us in control.
A random
We alright. Hey, look, y'all. Welcome to What's the Word Wednesday. You feel me? We finna be talking about all type of stuff. You feel me? Oh, we got the brother notes in this zone.
What's
Hey,
good,
hi.
man?
We're
What's
talking about
cracking?
minimalism, guys.
What is what is popping,
Hey, you feel me?
bro? Dallas, it's been a minute, bro. Where you been?
Man, I've been on this life stuff, man. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Hell yeah. What up, Aiden? How you doing?
I could barely hear you speaking.
Man, black.
Hey, what's up? Phoenix for
Oh,
life.
what's up,
That's my buddy
Phoenix for
Alex.
life? That's his
Who
bro.
Phoenix for life?
My buddy Alex. He lives in Arizona.
Boy, not
So, what are you guys'
Arizona.
thoughts on minimalism?
Okay, what is minimalism? Y'all gotta
Dallas
explain
we
that
did
to
that
me. What's
30 minutes ago.
minimalism?
We did that 30 minutes ago.
Huh?
We read the definition from the dictionary.
Didn't it? Salute to the chairman. It's been mad long. Yo, shout out to y'all, man. First of all, let me say that. Shout out to everybody that really, like, man, appreciate y'all support. Appreciate the love always. Like, let me just say that for real. Like, I'm doing work in the world so I can come back and help the community. You feel me?
Hey, I
That's
like
all
that.
I'm that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. You feel me? Shout out to y'all though, man. Definitely shout out to y'all. But wait, I'm for real though. What's minimalism? What y'all mean? Like, what's the question on
So,
that?
like, living a minimalist lifestyle is like basically living with like your essentials, not really having too much extra, like in materialism. It could even be a mindset. That's what we were talking about, like mental space, clearing mental space in your head. Um, so it can scale from the material world to the mental world to the metaphysical world.
Okay, well, in that aspect, you just want we just talking
Yeah,
about like the
like
thoughts on it.
what do you feel like, well, we haven't even got to the second question, which is like when do you know that you have enough? That was like the question that we're segueing into. So like
I,
think like materialistic, like when will you have enough Jordans? When will you have enough like like money, or when will you have enough tools, or when is enough? Uh-oh. Dallas, you got kicked? What
Bruh,
happened?
it's an alien space queen. Are you calling from space? I'm telling y'all, on my side, there's so much
Yeah.
feedback.
Same on my side too.
It was so much feedback. I look at when I have y'all three here, I can hear you. I can hear you two clearly. Is when Dallas. I'm not trying to say that when Dallas comes in, I'm hearing a lot of the
I
feedback.
hear the feedback. I've been hearing it since I got in. There's a lot of feedback.
I don't have headphones. I don't have on my headphones. I just have it like here on the camera. I was trying to again. I was gonna do it off my iPad. That's why it might be a little different. But hopefully y'all can hear. Yeah, I'm telling you, it is. It's still doing it now. Y'all, one more time. We're gonna do a sound check. If I'm gonna have to go ahead, and this is gonna have to be like abruptly like finished with for tonight, because it's always something going on. But can y'all hear me clearly? And then after
Yeah.
that, can y'all hear Chris talk when she talks? And when can y'all hear notes?
What's good?
Hello. He kind
Did you
of did
freeze?
for a
Oh,
second.
Now, do y'all still hear it?
I can hear you.
No, can y'all still hear the
I
static?
hear echoes.
I can
Like
hear
I hear
echo
myself delayed,
and the
and
static
then
too a
I
little
also
bit.
sound like an alien. I do sound like an alien. Like the feedback I hear.
Ridiculous. Let me see. We about to try to get this figured out real quick. If not, y'all, we're gonna be out. So
Oh
let's see what
no,
happens.
let's not be out. Is there an exit door?
I'm black.
It sound like it. Oh no, it's a gargled echo.
It sounds a
Mm.
lot better. I think it sounds a
Hello?
lot better.
Can y'all again? Now this has been funny, man. But can y'all hear us one more time?
Testing, testing.
Clear
Clear
the
the
whole
hall.
room. All right, clear the whole room. Move, jump. So right now on What's the Word Wednesdays, this is the whole just we in the middle of just trying to clear and clean everything. Be right back. Come on, let's
All
see.
right, I'll be right back.
All right, last time. Clean slate. Let's see. I can hear you all, but now I still hear the static. Can y'all hear this? We this is literally gonna be the section of can y'all hear this? The whole section. Can y'all hear this? You sound good. Okay. So we sound all right from this part. Now we're gonna add people in. Let's see how this works. What's the word Wednesdays? Can you hear me now? That's what's going on. What's going on, Kundan? Good to see you. What's the word? Now, actually, you clear, but I can still hear a robot
Yeah,
saying,
I hear the static now and the echo. Yeah. So it
"Oh
only
my
works when
goodness,
it's just you alone, not when you bring people on, I guess.
we are Verizon. Now it's a dub echo." Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. Look, I want what I'm gonna have to end up doing in this particular case. It was at the whole time.
Was
Look,
like this the whole time? No people on?
I don't know. If I would have, the people would have at least let me know if it was me the whole time.
Oh,
But what I am gonna do just so I can have some type of salvage on this is let's see after show. Honestly, I don't know. You using the mixer? No, I'm not using the mixer for this phone. It can't the phone for this mixer. Nah, it won't work. It'll bounce it out. I've tried a number of times with different stuff like that, and it doesn't work. Let me see. I grabbed some headphones, and hopefully the headphones will work.
no, I still hear the noise with the headphones.
waiting on the last bit of this, man. But this is the show, y'all. It's funny if it is, it's still the iPhone. So the iPhone is tripping in. But I think.
Yeah.
All right, we gonna try this. We don't need no Pro Max. We talking about we talking about minimalism in this particular case. We're not trying to go have Pro Maxes and all this other all the way up to date
Oh, now it
information.
works. Now it's fine.
Up to
Yeah.
date information, y'all.
Yeah,
Is it better, y'all? It is not an
it's
iPhone
much better
2.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm going to come back to the headphones. All right, let's see. We're going to slowly add everybody back in and try to salvage this last bit of the show and get up out of here. All right. Let's see. Let's bring everybody
Hello?
in here that we can.
Is
Hello.
it clear? Everybody else is clear now. And I don't hear the
Yeah, it's
echo.
clear now. Hey, we have to echo again. Hey, you cut off so
We
much.
good now?
Um,
Do you have your earpod in, Dallas?
Nah, we good though?
Put your headphone in.
No. Nah, I'm playing.
I miss that smile. Look at that smile.
Hold on. Let me see.
this is hilarious. This is hilarious right now.
Yeah, you gotta
Uh,
keep the earphone in. Yeah.
that's what I'm
All right,
thinking.
we good?
Oh, yeah. This is fine.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to work with this. Now we're gonna go ahead for the sake of the how time is moving. We're gonna talk about both in
Mm-hmm.
in the last segment, but we're gonna move to this last segment. Look, notes. You see how many people are on right now? I can't get everybody in here right now. It's not the five. It's only limited to four right now. If I can, I got you, bro. I appreciate everybody come back full force with the love, but man,
That's why
there's
you
so
gotta
much
get to
that I can
TikTok.
do. But in this case, add
Hold
actually,
on, hold on, hold on,
no,
hold on. I want
no. He sees it. He sees it. He
who?
sees it.
What
He
question?
got
Who
you.
see what?
Jaw Logic has
Oh,
a
what it is?
question
What's the
for you.
question?
Where did the chairman go on his trip?
That sigh.
Now this is a question and answers. Question and answers.
So it's
Right
not an
now it's Q
Oscar
and A
show.
right now, I
Right now
guess.
we're on
Hold
minimalism.
I was gonna say, could I say my thoughts on minimalism first? Because
Yeah.
I really wanted to respond because that's actually clutch. CJ, no, like those are some of the things that recently, like I've been really enhancing on too lately. Um, just what?
If you don't, no, I'm looking at
Oh,
Jaw
oh,
Logic. If you
oh.
don't, stop with
So,
all of
so
that.
really, when it comes to minimalism, like in the way you put it, Chris, it really come down to, um, and y'all know me, I always talk about success and that success mindset, right? So to me, you feel me? And the people that I've coached to be where they want to be in life, it all comes down to understanding what you need, as that individual. So whatever you need and what do you deem as enough, you feel me? And even within that, still understanding like, okay, you could be cool with this and still add known things to whatever like your essentials are. You feel me? I call them essentials. So like whatever your essentials, like essentials could be monthly payments, like that could be like phone bill, your Wi-Fi, or like whatever like subscription that you might need, not like Netflix and stuff like that. You feel me? Like stuff that you actually need. You feel me? And even myself, that was something like I've never had really all of these subscriptions and stuff like that because I ain't really need it. And a lot of people, in my experience, a lot of people walk through life thinking that they need um, so many things that they really don't need. You feel me? And I'm gonna say as much as I can without saying certain things, so y'all gonna have to read between the lines. But like, yo, like I'm gonna just say that though, like, yo, a lot of people walk through life chasing stuff that they don't really need, and it's like if you just focus on stuff that can help you live that dream lifestyle that you really want to live, which is really attainable for a lot of people. And I don't just say that because like, you know, just to say that. I say that because, you know, of certain things that I might know and things that I've seen, you know, like, yeah, I want people to know, like, yo, focus on getting your finances up. Focus on if somebody got a simple blueprint for you to follow to get your finances up, and then figuring out like what people say, I ain't got time, I ain't got money, I'm broke, I ain't got time, right? Well, I just got off a whole meeting with one of my clients, and like she probably like she went from making I'm gonna say 5 figures. I ain't gonna put the exact number out there. She went from making 5 figures to whatever she making now, right? I'm gonna just say she not in the best position right now, where like she's still making time to get the information from me now. Like now she's reached out to me this year recently, probably like a month or two ago, to now it's like, and she went to the fact of buying herself a new MacBook, you know, and investment, you know, because if y'all know me, y'all know I deal in investments. So now she ready to just take her time. Boom, she been her first few sessions, she just was rolling through it, you know, and then now it's like understanding, but she's making that time. Like she's cut off so many like she's a musician or artist, right? So she's cut off a relationship with somebody who's very well known in the musicianal world, that I just found out about. Like I didn't even know this person, and just so she can focus on her finances. So when it comes to minimalism, it's like, yo, what are you willing to sacrifice to see like, okay, I don't need this, I don't need that, I don't really need that, I don't need to go to the club, I don't need to go hang out with X, Y, and Z, if you got what you need right there in front of you. Because a lot of people, they have what they need right there in front of them, but they'll still go out to like, I need to network, I need to network, I need to do that. Let me tell y'all something. One thing about finances, when you start making a lot of money, people gonna come to you. You ain't gotta worry about going to find people. They gonna find you. So it's like, just get to that bag and then just start watching folks, you feel me, in the same manner that whatever, you know, your life experiences has brought you through. Because one thing about your life experiences, everybody take that journey for granted. But God, I like to say, God put you through that journey for a reason, you feel me? Like you gonna go through that journey and you gonna see like, okay, you learn things along that journey. So by the time you get to that point, you gonna be like, nope, I seen that type of person before. Nope, I seen that type of person before. Like for me at least, you feel me? Like a lot of people around me tell me like, D, you just cut people off quick. Like with real people that really know me, like my man CJ, or y'all know him as A.D.V.I.S. My man CJ though, and you know, the team, you feel me? Like the gang, you know, however we call ourselves a family, it's like they know, like, bro, I love people, but it's like I could love you, but I still gotta move forward in a way that I just understand could be beneficial to myself and the people that surround me. So that's my thoughts on minimalism, like just getting rid of excessive things that if you ain't got it to spend, like, bro, if you can't just be out there spending it, you feel me? That means you need to do some reevaluating on your monthly habits and patterns. Because when I did that, that's when I really started to just be like, oh, bro, I don't even. Let me tell y'all something. No matter how much money you make, your expenses probably still the same. My monthly payments is like $500. Those are things that I need every month. It's about $500. Like, And it could be less than that. It's just my car insurance a little high right now. You know, young sports car. Anyway, but
Yeah,
it's 500.
same.
But it for real though. It's around 500. It's around $500 though. You feel me? So you telling me, and that ain't even include like you might rent a spot out. Uh, you know, and God bless me with that. You feel me? Because I got that covered. You feel me? So you gotta just really be like, yo, people will spend. You buying alcohol, you buying uh all type of weed. I ain't telling nobody that's bad or nothing like that. You feel me? That could be part of your routine. I'm just saying, I went and did a trip one time, and I spent like 400 on that trip. When I got back to my zone, my space, I ran up more than 400 because I know I just spent 400. You feel me? So if you gonna do that, at least have something in place where you can make that back and some. You feel me? I like to say double that or something. You feel me? So that way you'll still be in profits. It ain't just like you putting yourself in a negative or a liability. You know, you like, no, I'm in the green. I'm good because I know I spent 200, but I'm about to make 600. Boom. So that way you done made that 200, you got 400 in profits. You feel me? So it's just simple stuff like that that can help with your minimalism and the question of when do you know you have enough? Like that's when you'll start to gauge yourself and be like, oh, I got enough. I'm good. I don't need to go to I'm good. Or if you want to get something, you can get something for yourself. Like treat yourself nice. It's one life. Buy something nice. I'm not telling y'all don't buy yourself something like, nah, buy something nice. But don't go to the mall and all you got is 1,000 in the bank and you about to go spend 400 and you ain't even got a way to go make 1,000 back to cover that 400 and some. You feel me? So that to me is just like simple math stuff. Like don't be trying to keep up with the trends. Like whatever you got, bro, wear the same outfits. That shit cool. Don't let nobody tell you that shit ain't cool. Cause you gonna be wearing the same outfit till you ain't gotta wear the same outfit no more. But the people around that's broke, that's keeping up with the trends, I done seen them people in real life. All them people they trying to follow on the gram, and I'm just saying, but that's my thoughts on it. And to answer your question, my man Logic, it really come down to I had to go get my head right. You feel me? So I took a self vacation. Shout out to my team. Shout out to CJ, man. Real trill brother, man. And shout out to the rest of the gang too that's still here right now because my team know what we didn't, had to really, you feel me, focus on and stuff like that. So shout out to these brothers and these, sisters that's with us, that's still with us because sometimes people don't do that. They keep going at life. They keep going at life, hitting your head on that wall when it's like, take a step back, breathe, drink some water, lay back on your back, look at the clouds, you feel me? Like get your mind together to understand like, okay, do I need to move this way or do I need to move that way? Cut off relationships that you see like you like a lot of people will see some people and they be like, oh, that person's cool, that person's hella cool, right? But what is that person doing for themselves? What are they doing for other people? You feel me? Are they standing on their beliefs? Like that's a big thing with me. Like, are you standing on your beliefs? One thing about my man CJ, he stand on his beliefs. That brother, hey, you feel me? Hey, and that's but that nah for real, and that's big though. You feel me? So and if you around people that ain't really standing on their beliefs, it's like they beliefs could be dead wrong, but if they standing on them shit, I guess what? That let me know at least that person gonna stand on what they standing on until they make certain adjustments. Now I ain't saying you gotta be around that person if you think they beliefs is wrong. It's just to say like, you gauge what you need in your space at those times in your life. You feel me? So yeah, that my thoughts
Yeah.
on it though.
Those was his thoughts. Appreciate it. We back up in here
Yeah,
with it.
that's
I'm grateful again for people's situations and stuff that's here. So, Kundan, what you got? We're coming up in
yeah. I
here.
think I'm gonna keep my camera off this time because I'm at a weird angle and my headphones not working properly. Like if I move. If I move, it
Understood.
stops working. So, um, but yeah, like I
All good.
think, um, yeah, I'm curious, like what made you like choose this topic, minimalism? I do understand how it connects with when you know that you have enough. That's a more interesting topic
Yeah.
to me. But minimalism, I guess, it's one pathway to that, you know. Uh, but before get
Yes.
into that, to piggyback off what Dallas said about standing up for their beliefs, you know, this is why I've always said that in a way, I would rather, you know, I don't want to choose, but if I had to choose between being with, you know, uh, being with somebody who is, you know, a KKK member, you know, versus a white liberal, I would
Mm.
rather be around uh, the KKK because that's the danger that I know. At least they're honest about their beliefs, whereas the white liberal is often dishonest and covert about their beliefs. Like Malcolm X has a famous quote about this when he said that both the white conservative and the white liberal are showing their teeth. One pretends that they're smiling. You know, like one is the
Yeah.
fox and the other is the wolf,
Mhm.
and we know which is which.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's why I feel that the person hiding their belief, no matter what their belief is actually more dangerous than somebody who has a dangerous belief but they're honest about it. You know, because I would rather face
Mm.
a bear from the front than be stabbed in the back.
Yep.
And yo, and nah, yo, shout out to you, Coon, because man, and that's a positive thing for you to even say, man, because even my Instagram profile picture, right? It used to be a sheep with like a wolf over it, right? Or it might have been a wolf with a
Hmm.
sheep. It was a wolf with a sheep over it. And I had to change that, and the reason why is because, like how you said, like I don't even like that image of like, okay, we good on the out, and then in, like just that perception of like what that could mean. You feel me to other folks, right? And like how you said, like just wanting, and when I expose myself like that, right? Like when you, not just me, anybody, when you put yourself out there to just be honest in what you believe in, it's so many people that I sit and watch them be silent in rooms. I'm talking about rooms full of people, like, and they'll put their beliefs to the side just to look cool in these rooms. I'm talking about grown ass people, like celebs, all that shit, girls, people like y'all like I've seen that so much that I'm just like, and yo, let me tell you, me being so trill, me being me, like, bruh, true stories. Like, yo, I would go to these events, right? And it would be like hella shorties, like you go to events. If you a dude, you stepping out, yeah, have a good time. It could be a dives ball, it could be whatever, right? Football. But the main thing is you probably want to leave with somebody good. Same thing if you're a female, you want to leave with a good looking dude, right? Yo, 9 times out of 10 though, like me just being at these events, bruh, I end up having people reach out to me, women mainly, and be like, yeah, I will see you at events, and you just be chilling, you be in your own world. And I'm like, yo, y'all be watching me? You feel me? I don't even think that I'm important when I'm in this room though, but it's because I'm being me though. Like everybody out there trying to be in that spotlight, I'm sitting there. Y'all know I done rolled me a blunt. I'm sitting there chilling. I don't. You feel me? But I'm being me though. It ain't like, yo, and all these people out here perpetrating, like trying to have that perfect image, like, oh, I don't smoke, and then but you smoking at the crib or you smoking with D when we not. And I'm like, bro, be who you is. Like, just be who you are. Like how you said, Coon, like, you rather, at least we know what the KKK on, right? Or what we believe that they on, right? Versus the person that's sitting there like, oh, I'm super nice, super friendly. But if you gotta convince me that you friendly, I
Mhm.
don't even think you friendly. Cause
Mhm.
real gonna talk about real stuff. Like, you feel me?
Yeah, we have the example in the speaking of current events, we have the perfect example in real time with the last few days of the leaked audio of LA Council leader Nuri Martinez, saying anti-black, anti-Semitic, and anti-indigenous racist remarks that leaked, right? And she ended up resigning, as well as these two other members who also need to resign. But yeah, that's a perfect and apt example in real time of somebody hiding who they are, right? And saying these things behind closed doors. And more importantly, enacting these racist policies, which I think should be more in the news rather than what they said, because, that's more concerning. Their policies based on their beliefs, right?
Say that last part one more time.
Hmm.
That last sentence about the policies.
Yeah, their racist policies should be more in the news rather than what they said, because clearly they probably have the policies that are, in supportive of their beliefs, which they say with their remarks. But I, for one, don't care so much about the remarks. That's more like proof of what they do.
What's up, Sammy? Ah. Um.
Yeah, and I spoke about that earlier too. Kundan, I just briefly was looking at that article, and then I got to see bits and pieces of stuff on Instagram and social media. But yeah, that's ever present when it comes to just the faces of policy as well as people trying to get to higher places. They feel they got to play a
Hmm.
certain game, and that certain game is also a game of
Mm.
smoke and
Exactly.
mirrors, where you do a lot of tricks and lies to get yourself in. But ultimately, again, there's Bible verses to talk about it. There's other different adages that say it, but anything that you speak on and try to hide eventually is going to resurface and
And
find itself. So all of that stuff, like I'll say this and then I'm gonna pass it. That's why for me personally, Sleepy Joe, if you really did your back history on Sleepy Joe and you saw
Yeah.
all the stuff that he's done
Oh
and
yeah.
said,
Yeah.
y'all wouldn't have quickly
Right.
been and done what you did. I get because the options, why we have the lesser two evils. Like I know we're going on a whole sidetrack, but we're just doing it right now. But ultimately, literally, people's past, you gotta also go back and double check on, especially just to know if they was there at ground zero with the people and that they didn't change
Mm-hmm.
as they
yo,
may
Right,
keep
and
it
but
up.
circling this
oh,
back to minimalism, right? One of the reasons why this happens is because people have multiple masks on, which is maximalist, which is the
Mm-hmm.
opposite of minimalism.
Yeah,
Minimalist approach to politics would be people just saying what they mean and meaning what they say, and having policies that back what they say,
Right.
that are in alignment and congruent.
yeah,
That would be minimalist politics
Right.
and
and
policies. Yeah.
and also with that too, one thing I'm gonna speak on my experience and where I'm at, honestly in life. You feel me? One thing that I can speak on, just being in my position, and a lot of people don't know this too. Like as you start to elevate though, one thing that I've learned, I thank God for this. Like I've been through so much as a youngin. Like I'm still young, but I still went through a lot growing up. Like they say, we grew up fast where I'm from. You feel me? So it's like one thing that's is to me, and I had to I got to a point where I had to stop being scared to say this. I'd be like, I'm scared of like what success or certain elevations due to the people that be around you. So the people that was around me, I ain't changed on them. You feel me? Like it's more so like people was looking at me with hidden agendas, and I ain't even know that they had hidden agendas until other people was pointing stuff out to me that I was like, and then when I sat back, cause I don't just take it and be like, oh, I'm about to flip on my gang. No, I'm like, that's like CJ, that's gang. Like, that's a brother that I'm like, bro, I done seen him, I done boom, we didn't boom, you feel me? Whatever, whatever. So when I had to look at other people and when I started to
Oh,
reevaluate,
am I still on?
when I had to
yeah. You still on?
reevaluate other people that was around me, don't ever think that like being real ain't getting away from certain things too. Like that's one thing I definitely want to share with people. Like where I feel like people don't understand is like sometimes being real is also removing yourself from being around those things that you might see. Like I've seen envy in somebody's eyes. Like growing up, I've seen hate in somebody's eye. Like when somebody got ill intent towards you. So if I ever see that in somebody's eye that's next to me, I'm not
Yeah,
hesitating twice to try to figure out like is that person finna do me? Like, nah, I'm getting away from that person. You feel me? Like, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, and that's why a lot of people like. Shout out to the brother Logic. He said like, Dallas keep. What did you say? Like Dallas. He said, damn, growing. Damn, what the hell? I'm trying
He
to
Wait,
said
can
find
you
you
all
that.
still
never
see
Oh,
me and
change.
hear me?
it's
Because you
He
two
said you never
disappeared, but I
change
still
and
hear
you
your
keep trying.
voice.
Yeah, we can see. We can
Yeah.
still see you, Kundan. It is
and he
Instagram
said,
being weird
Okay.
this
Logic,
update.
Logic, Logic
Look
Um,
at the
said,
Twitch.
yeah.
Logic said growing. Logic said, Dallas, you keep growing. That's a real thing though. I keep growing because I keep understanding, and as I don't go through my life just be like, shit, I ain't understanding. I ain't. No, I'm learning. I'm taking into consideration. I'm making the steps. I'm making the moves at the times that I like to call it. As CJ said, CJ be like, bruh, perfect time. But I like to say, divine timing. It's on the
Hmm.
right time. It's like when it needs to happen. Like I'm not scared to get people away from me. Cause in my head, I'm like I said, when you start to really become successful, bruh, and it ain't just my head. I've seen it from people and I've heard it from people like that's in those positions. That's like they ain't. I'm looking like, bruh, my mentor, he didn't know all them damn people before he became and did what he did. I'm pretty sure they found out who the hell he was once he did what he did. So it's like I'm telling y'all, like once you do what you gonna do, like stop worrying about trying to hold on to folks, cause once you do what you gonna do, they gonna have your number. They finna be like, now everybody gonna call you. You feel me? So focus on yourself and keep growing, cause you got to keep it real though, cause one thing about not keeping it real, shout out to Nipsey Hussle, cause he always kept it true. And one thing about not keeping it true, you gonna walk into that room with that facade on, right? That mask, that oh yeah, I'm this. So then you gonna build that reputation up so much. So when you finally try to do something else, for some people, when you try to do something else, it's like all them people that like you ain't gonna be able to do what you really. You're not gonna have no negotiation room, cause like how you said, like whatever you did in the dark, you ain't even embrace it. The shit you trying to hide, all that stuff, it's like you gonna be sitting there with no leverage room, no wiggle room. The reason why Nip really got the respect he got and has is because it's like he never tried to hide who he was. If he was doing that, he did that. If he was doing that, he did that. And in this world that we live in, I like to say in this world that we live in, or that most people live in, because I don't even, yeah, it's like you, like, they living in that space of like, oh yeah, your life shouldn't be like this, it shouldn't be like this. But there's an Indian proverb that say, don't judge a man till you walk 2 full moons in his moccasins. Like, because if you ain't walked that path of life as that person, you don't know what your life should have been like. I know people that came around me and had an easy ass life. I don't want you around me. I don't want you around me. Why you don't want that person around? Because they not going to understand me to the point where if something go down, like, and it's not to say I don't have good people around me. I have good people around me. I have brothers around me that's never even slept with a woman in their life, that's never did certain things in their life. And I love them people. Like, them people I love. But I'm just saying, if you don't understand hardship, if you don't understand the walks and motions of life, you can't be around me. Because that means when something happen, you gonna be on that side of the fence where it's like you walking with them perspectives of, oh, that's how your life should be. It should be this way. We ain't got time for that.
Or they're
Ain't
gonna be the
nobody.
first one to flip on you.
Yeah, no,
That's right.
no, for real, and that's what it is. Cardi B, she got a song right now. It's called Hot Shit with Kanye West and Lil Durk. But she said everybody want to be gangs, ain't no spots left. But that's real talk. Like everybody want to be a part of what you might have going on, but everybody don't. They don't understand what you gonna have to be capable of. Like CJ will tell you, one of the things is about us is like we be honest, we respect each other, we if we can support somebody, whether it's just being on the phone with them for a little minute, like we don't have to say nothing, like those are things that people overlook, but it's like that could be essential to somebody's growth. You feel me? So y'all gotta figure this out. I'm giving away too
Yeah.
much game. Y'all gotta figure this out. let me pipe down.
Nothing
Man.
wrong with helping
All
people.
right.
Good
To
morning,
put it,
Kim. I don't know what time it is
yes.
All
over
right.
there, Kim, but good morning. Good morning. She is
Morning,
woke.
Kim. That's in
She
South
is she is
Africa, yeah?
woke.
All right. With that and all of this, let's go ahead and we're gonna briefly go through the last topic, and then after that we're gonna call it because we already been on here for a while doing shenanigans with the sound and stuff. But last thing, this is the last portion for YouTube, so YouTube I'm gonna do all my different splits. But the last thing I got for all y'all when we get into this, the topic of basically the question is, when do you know that you have enough?
Excuse
So
me.
we spoke about minimalism. One other thing that I wanted to add with the minimalism as we're going into this topic is, and we've been speaking on it, is literally how I'm starting to hear it now is when I think of minimalism, I think of realism. And then when I'm thinking of maximism, I'm thinking of
Mm-hmm.
idealism, and it makes me put all of that into escape because of the fact of how when you maximize the things you're thinking so highly of so many other different things that's out there, while when you're being able to minimize things you keep it more realistic and you're able to get those things accomplished. So when it comes to the question, when do you know that you have had enough, how does that bring that all into tow? Go ahead.
Who's first?
Oh, y'all can go first. Y'all can go first.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this in the last few days actually about in relationship to happiness, right? Because this is related to basically satisfaction, right? Basically, when are you satisfied, right?
Mm,
And then
mm-hmm.
I just joined this book club. Well, actually a book study group for this book, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, with commentary by Sri Sri Guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. And in the first sutras, basically yoga is actually based on the Patanjali Sutras, because the asanas or the
Yeah.
poses are really a preparation for dhyan or focus and concentration and meditation. They're not even the point of yoga. So, but he talks about the three types of happiness, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. And basically, the main type, the healthy type is the first type, where he says that you need discipline, but you need the healthy type of discipline, not this whole like hustle culture, toxic productivity, discipline, but more like he says the discipline to understand the difference between long-term happiness and short-term gratification or cravings, right? So he
Mm.
says that
Yes.
when you have the discipline to do something that is uncomfortable at first, but you know that it will give you long-term happiness, that is the healthy discipline that will lead you to sattvic happiness, which is the healthy long-term happiness.
No.
Whereas the rajasic one is basically easy at first and very satisfying at first, but it gets very dissatisfying the more you do it. It becomes misery in the long term. And then thumbstick is the worst because it was never satisfying to begin with, but you delude yourself into thinking that it's satisfying, right? That's the thumbstick. So, but how it ties into minimalism and when you have enough is that a lot of people fall more into the other two types, right? Especially the second type, the middle one, where it's like they will do all sorts of things. They will have lots of sex. They will have eat lots of ice cream, right? They will do all of these things that will give them short-term cravings. They might even go into the hustle
Yeah.
culture and try to make lots of money and have like own many houses, and they think that's success, right? And and if you're doing it from a healthy place, if you want to build generational wealth or whatever, that's fine. But if you're not questioning yourself as to why you're doing it, if you just want to be with the Joneses or you're just trying to get rich to get laid, all of these things, then that's when you're falling into, what is seems to be easy at first, but it's actually or satisfying at first, but will only lead you into misery where you will only be, you know, tiring yourself with lots of different things that satisfy so many cravings, but you'll just overwhelm yourself, and that's when it leads to burnout, right? That's because you're doing too much,
Yeah.
and you're never enough, you're never satisfied.
Mm.
And yo, I was gonna say I want to
I
add to
love
that.
that.
Man, first of all, it's hot as hell.
As I do that, let me go ahead. Kundan, I'm gonna circle you out real quick just so I can circle in the other two, so then we'll get a whole well rounded, and then I'll bring everybody back in for final thoughts
Okay,
as well too. So I'm gonna bring you back in if you're
What
still
I
here.
was
that's
If
and
you're
good
still
what
here.
because I think that
and
will
Coon
fix Instagram's issue too. Yeah.
and Coonan, listen, cause I'm about to
Okay.
say something. I'm about to piggyback on what you said. My girl Chris finally got out the car, but Coonan, nah, for real, man. One thing I can say is like, no matter how many like amazing experiences that I've been like blessed to have, and been out this far, just this far. It's like one thing I can say though, like, and something that excuse me, and something I encourage to my little brother is like, yo, stop focusing on women, stop going out there, trying to do all that, bro. Get your finances in order, so that way when you do go focus on that, like, and you do go put that energy and that time and that effort into that, you will be able to do it from a more, like you said, Conan, a healthier space. You won't be doing it in a, okay, I'm doing this like just to do, like, no, you're gonna be doing it because you want to do it at that point versus like, it being controlling what you're doing. You're in control of that moment. So that's a very great point that you made, Conan. That's what I definitely wanted to say, man. Chris, what's your thoughts on it? What's your
Mm.
thoughts, Chris?
Sorry, I was a little distracted because I had a little emergency just now. Um,
Er-
but min
Everything good? Hold on.
huh? Aw,
Everything
you're
good? You
so
said you got an
sweet.
emergency.
You're
Everything
so
good?
sweet. Ready to fight for me. I like that. Aw.
I'm coming. Hold on. I'm a little sore. Hold on. I'm coming in this.
Oh my God. No, it's not like that. No, I got locked out of my hotel room. So I had to
Not
go get
locked
another one.
out.
Yeah, it got demagnetized, so I had to go get another one. But no. I don't know. I enjoy the minimalistic life. Um, apparently from the outside it looks exciting, I guess. I don't know. That's the feedback I've been getting the past 3 weeks. Um, but it definitely doesn't feel all that exciting, but it serves a purpose. And I'm all for fulfilling purposes and prophecies and quest, if you will. Um, it's it kind of ties in with that discipline that Kundan's talking about. Like it does teach you the lesson of discipline. Um, for me, it has been mentally freeing. How we were talking about space. Like I feel a lot of mental space I have now, and I recommend that life, whether it be going off the grid, or whether it just being packing up and going somewhere else, whether it be just cleaning your room, and getting rid of a bunch of stuff and possessing less. Like, um, these are my thoughts on it. And when is enough enough? I don't know. When you say so, that's where I'm at. When you say so,
Mm.
and if
And
it is to have like 12 pairs of shoes, if that was like the goal and you accomplished it, that was your prerogative.
nah,
Yeah.
facts, and it's and,
So,
and it's what you said.
yeah. So, I don't know. Living it, I don't know. It feels okay. It's decent. I like it.
I was gonna say, like, yo, that's definitely shout out to you for even being in that space. Like, shout out to you for understanding those things, because that's the most essential thing to understanding where your life is headed. Like, the reason why I keep having like amazing experiences and meeting amazing people is because I have in my mindset, like I don't have enough.
Mm.
I'm like, I don't have enough. So when you always telling yourself I don't have enough, you gonna keep living, you gonna keep grinding, you gonna keep hustling, you gonna keep putting in that work. Like, and you can have enough whole time. Like, yo, I've had two shorties live with me at one point in time. Like, that shit's cool. Like, and still, even then, I had a shorty on the side. But I talked to my ladies about that. Like, we had agreements, we got rules. When you get to a certain status, whatever people call it in life, when you get in a certain position, is what I like to say. Like, when you that dude or you that female, you get to make certain moves a certain way. So in my head, though, like, I did things a certain way, and I do things a certain way. So it's like, I'm still going. I feel like that's the part that's gonna keep you grinding, keep you creative, keep you innovative, keep you like. Cause if
On
you
your
ain't,
toes.
yeah. Cause if you think like, okay, I'm gonna run up a meal and I'm gonna be straight, you gonna run up that meal and you gonna be broke. Trust me. And you, cause it's like, bruh, you gonna need at least 20 to 20 mil to really be good. So a lot of people think like I'm gonna run up that mill. I just got off the phone with somebody tonight and just told her how one of my first clients early on ran up 6 figures and blew 6 figures. She said, "How you blow 6 figures?" I would never. I said, first of all, don't say that because you ain't ran up 6 figures yet.
Right.
You don't know what it is to have that. I remember running up my first 5 figures and I blew that bag like it wasn't nothing. I said, shit, I'm gonna go cash out. You feel me? So but then you learn, like with me at least. I don't know about everybody else, but you learn, you feel me? You learn things. So what that comes with though, how you said though, is like your peace of mind. If you need to get away to attain that peace of mind, if you need to fall off the grid to get that work done, if you need to distance yourself from family members, which is the main thing that a lot of people, I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I don't care what nobody gonna say, don't listen to what nobody ever gonna tell you in life. If y'all don't take nothing, take this from me. Most times, you gotta get away from the family. Like, you gotta block it out. It's like a lot of people, me, I've been blessed. Like, I've been blessed to play sports, and within sports, it taught me how to listen to the cheers and listen to the boos. People gonna cheer, people gonna boo. I don't care because I'm gonna go out there and play. Because guess what? That's why they in the sideline because they can't get on the court or they can't get on the field. They can't get in the game because they ass sitting there commentating. So guess what? It's a whole lot of commentators in the world. It ain't a whole lot of people that can play the game of life. You feel me? So
Exactly.
when you really want to win in life, listen to the people that's headed somewhere in life, not the people that's sitting there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that. Ah, well, yeah, I ain't got time. Anybody that tell you, I ain't got, man, I'm not in the habit of trying to make myself seem busy. If I ain't busy, shit, I'm not busy. Shit, what you trying to do? Cause anybody that's really successful, but they got time. If it's one thing they got more time than you. Cause you working a 9 to 5, they got way more time to create another business for somebody else to be employed. Cause a lot of people gonna live and they gonna die and never fulfill their dream. Trust me. They
I have a
like,
random question.
go ahead.
When did you take your shirt off and why is it off? I'm like just sitting here, I'm like, something's different. Wow, okay.
Nah,
Keep to
it's just
yourself,
hot.
please.
Nah,
Keep to
it's
yourself.
hot. It's
That's a
hot
new
over here.
tool. That's a new tool.
It's hot over here where we at. It's very hot. But nah, for real though. Like in life though, man. Like if nobody, if y'all don't take nothing for real though, I want y'all to understand. Like, listen to the people that's winning in life. Don't listen to people who ain't winning. Like, because what I've done is I've done a study like on like, yo, it's 8 billion roughly people in the world. Half of them, if not more than half of them, gonna live and die working.
Hmm.
Even if they buy that house and they living around all them folks, you lived and you died working. I prefer not to live and die working so hard. I don't know about nobody else. That's just me. I want to see my mama. When my mama called me, that's the beautiful thing. When she called, I met my mama a few times, but like now she don't really ask for much. But I just remember the times, like even times when she didn't call me. I remember just pulling up to her house one time, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm behind on rent this month," and I'm like, "Well, shit, why you ain't just call me and tell me?" Like I would have. And she laughed because she was like she had just had a conversation with somebody and was like, "Yo, I know who I could call to pay my if I want this paid, but I ain't gonna call him." You feel me? And I'm like,
Right.
so to me, everybody want to walk through their life and be like, "Yo, I want to." Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that for my family. I want to do this for my family. It's sacrifices that I've made for my family and for myself. But I ain't do that sitting around my family. I had to be homeless at times. You feel me?
Same.
Y'all see this nice ass. If y'all was to see this nice ass house right now, y'all be like, damn, that's a nice ass. Well, guess what? I had to mentally battle with my mama having bad health at times, and I couldn't be there. You feel me? Knowing that I already lost one mama. So it's like yo, when it comes to minimalism and when do you have enough, it's all about what you tell yourself. It's all about what you aiming for in life. You feel me? And if you aiming for shit, you just want that house on the block next to everybody, and you got that
Right.
apartment, and that's your thing. That's your thing. But if you want certain things, listen to the people who got what you want and who could help you get what you want. You feel me? Because that's the biggest flex to me. Shit, Ma, you need help with that? Oh no, I'm good. Okay, big.
Hmm.
Hey sis, you don't want to. I tell my sister, my little brother and sister so cold right now. I tell them if you don't want to graduate high school, you don't got to. We could turn you into a millionaire by next year. Real talk. Why? Because I understand life. Like, I'm not about to send my little brother and sister through school if they don't want to. But if you want to go for the experience, cool, do it. Just keep it on the low, you feel me? So I like to keep it real with y'all. Y'all already know, you feel me? Shout out to Logic and everybody else. Like I'ma always keep it real anytime I come on here and say something. And shout out to you, Chris. Like if you in that space where it's like you need to regroup, you feel me? Like understand that that's a powerful space to be in and continue to surround yourself with beautiful energy and don't be scared of opportunities. Like if I was scared of opportunities, I would have never met my opportunity.
Right. I feel
Like
that.
so many people be scared, like somebody gonna do me wrong, somebody gonna do me wrong. Guess what?
Hmm.
You so goddamn scared of that. I'm so positive. I done been in rooms where like somebody could have did something to me and ain't nothing even happened to me. You know why? Because I wasn't worried about no negative stuff. I walked in there focusing on positive energy, and anybody who had positive energy, we connected, we vibed, and God got a way of pushing that bad energy away from you when you on a positive level. That's
That's
all I'm gonna
true.
say though.
That's true.
Mm. Hey, y'all took away, y'all did y'all thing with this on the show, man. I got to take a back seat, just chill and relax and listen. But this is what I will do. I'm gonna go ahead because it's
Hmm.
already past due to time. I wanna
Hmm.
go ahead and do a wrap
Y'all didn't
up
get my girl
of
Kimmy
tonight's show
here.
with
I'm reading
all of
that
its
right
randomness
now.
and everything. Relax, relax, relax. Yeah, 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 yeah. We couldn't. Is Instagram is tripping right now, so I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna try the after show for like maybe 15 minutes and then see how that goes. But I want y'all to give y'all final thoughts on literally minimalism as well as where when do you know that you've had enough, and also everybody else in the chat, if you want to chime in on your last thoughts, please do. And then we're gonna wrap this up and we'll do an after show so I can do some more checking of these
We
technical
won, Dallas.
difficulties
We
and stuff.
won.
But yeah, so
You said we
but I'm
won. You
not gonna
said
be
we
on for
won,
too long
Chris.
because I
15
gotta get
minutes.
up for work.
15 minutes of just buffoonery.
Yeah, but all right. Final thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and
That was my
Chris.
final
Final
thought.
thoughts for the whole show.
What
Anything
everything I said was my
that
final
was your
thoughts.
final
Those are
thought?
my thoughts, my feelings on all of this. Like, just grateful to have a support system. I really like talking to you guys on Wednesdays. So I hope your
And we
schedule can
do
help me out.
too. Woo!
And I just have to get used to the time difference because it is like 12:30 in the morning right now, and I'm still up. But I'm down for 15 minutes of buffoonery, and then I gotta go to bed.
And that's why, hey, one
That
thing we say: if you gonna party hard, work hard. That's all it is to it. Just make up for it. You feel me? You could do both. You gotta put in that equal effort on both.
I'm here.
all right, Mr. Chairman Dallas, your final thoughts.
Honestly, yo, shout out to everybody for tapping in with my boy CJ. Like, honestly, show love to this man. This man definitely, like, he put this platform up for everybody, and we want to make sure we give thanks to to the creator himself, because without him, we don't meet these beautiful souls. We don't hear y'all beautiful stories, perspectives, and stuff like that. And for those who do know me, you feel me? That y'all know, like, that's what I'm about. You feel me? Like, we talk about the real stuff, the stuff that people scared to talk about in this world. I'ma forever speak it. I'ma forever tell y'all the truth. And so wherever you want your life to be, one thing I'm gonna say, just follow whoever can get you there. Don't be scared to follow somebody. Everybody walk around telling me I ain't following nobody and all that. I had to follow somebody to understand what I'm understanding right now. You feel me? So follow who got them
There it
blueprints. You feel
is.
me?
There it is. Man, appreciate it. Thank y'all for the love. And I'm gonna read off Kundan's
No,
final
let
thoughts,
me
and
let me
then after
respond to
that, we're
let me
gonna end
respond to
it
Logic
here.
real quick. Yo,
But
I just talked to what's my man name? Lyric. I just talked to Lyric, man, and me and him been talking, so we gonna work something out whenever he get that I don't know what he's doing right now with the seasons and stuff like that. But whenever he get that back up, we and him been in the works on some ideas for an episode. So when that happen, just tap in, man. I'm definitely gonna get on there, definitely.
random thoughts, y'all, on Sundays if you can. 12 p.m. here on the
So it's
on the
3
West
p.m.
Coast time, and then on East Coast
Gotcha.
time is 3 p.m. EST. Other times, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't know all the times like that, but yeah, that's random thoughts. Um, Final thought from the family, Kundan. Final thoughts. Kundan said, knowing when you have enough is a journey of discovery after a period of healthy discipline for long term happiness over
I agree.
short term
Hold
gratification.
on, I'm typing. I'm typing. Or
That's
Kim,
facts.
well, she can hear me. So
Go.
I was gonna type a comment, Kim. What I was gonna say that is because I just read your comment about, and hi Miss Queen. I don't know who Miss Queen is, but hi Miss Queen. Um, but yo, Kim, one thing I was gonna say is, like, when you said I like nice things, like the next person, but I always ask myself, do I need or want it? How is it beneficial to my life? That's all of, like, self-reflection, looking at what's around you, looking at yourself. What are your personal goals? Like me, I wouldn't go buy a gym membership. I got a gym at the house. If I do buy a gym membership, it's because I just want to play basketball. So if I have a gym membership, I'm not gonna, I have it just for that sole purpose. So just little things like that of just understanding, like, okay, where are your, what are your limits and what is within your grasp, and just also, like, who wouldn't want to roll around in a Bentley one day just to be like, I own a Bentley. You feel me? So don't limit yourself ever, though. You feel me? Like, whatever you think, like, you can get it. So get to it for real.
And with that, y'all, thank you to everybody here. I appreciate y'all. Much love to everyone that's been out here. The craziness, the ups and downs, as well as the thought provoking words and knowledge that's been dropped. So thank you to everybody. Much love. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dallas. Thank you, Kundan. Thank you, Logic. Thank you, Nose. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody. I can't get to everybody, but thank y'all so much. Now, when it comes to wrapping up this show, y'all, when it comes to current events and the news, main thing I always say, like I do, is please make sure that you're aware of what's happening in your surroundings. Because if you're not able to properly plan and know what is happening, then you're not able to properly keep yourself, your family, and everyone else safe. So just take some time, figure out what's going on in the news. All right. Second thing, when it comes to minimalism, most of the concept is to be able to use those bare necessities as efficiently as you can so that you're not limiting your space Because once you limit your space, you got to begin to think outside of the box, as well as, just like Jordan Peterson said, you got to start doing some cleaning in your room. So you got to clean your room. And lastly, when it comes to when do you know that you have enough, that is where you have to go through your life experience and understand what are you able to live with and without. And knowing that once you have that there, you have your foundation, the standard. Okay, then I know that this technical thing is something that I'm going to need to survive versus this is something that I want because it'll be a privilege or an addition to your happiness or said fulfillment, whether if it's over a long term or a short term. Shouts out to Kundan on that. But with that, y'all, thank y'all for this fun filled reunion back
Hey, we doing the
show
after show,
of What's the
CJ?
Word Wednesdays again. Shouts out. Shh. After that, hold on. Shouts out to everybody that came and watched, as well as those who will be watching this later on Instagram or YouTube. On YouTube, please subscribe to your boy at A.D.V.I.S. Speaks, because there's going to be more of this coming. Please do. I appreciate it. Even if you don't going to sit through this whole 3-something hours, just thank you for still watching 15 seconds if you get some gems out of it. And lastly, y'all, there's more events and more things to come, but I just want to leave y'all with, again, a big thank you for showing up, giving your time. You could be anywhere else in the world right now with all the times that you're at, but you're here with us. So thank y'all so much. Much love and respect, and we'll catch y'all next time, depending on how I'm doing this, next Wednesday for another What's the Word Wednesdays. But from all the people in our family here, we'll catch y'all next Wednesday. We'll do our after show, but we'll catch y'all next Wednesday for the real topics. Peace and love, y'all. We out.